Okay, so here we have two types of hot pepper seedlings. To the left, that one is Peruvian White Lightning, and to the right we have Bolivian Rainbow. Okay, so these are top heavy, unfortunately, because they didn't want it to grow in the beginning, and then 2 months later or so they decided to grow. So let's just take a closer look at Peruvian White Lightning first, because this again is an interesting one. So here you can see I had to use an orchid clipper and the chopstick to kind of hold this thing for a little while, but you know, deep inside I knew that this was really temporary. So let me just remove this thing, and I'm going to also remove the chopstick part of it. Oh, by the way, I am wearing gloves only because I was doing something else earlier, but you don't really need a pair of gloves to do this thing, just so that you know. Okay, so here's the chopstick. I'm removing that so that we can take a closer look at it. Okay, here we go. See how wobbly this thing is? What made me really easy to decide where to chop was the fact that nodes are kind of far apart. So I know where I wanted to cut it. I think I'm going to cut it. Let's see. Like right here. Yeah, that's where I wanted to cut it. And I'm hoping that by doing so, the bottom woody part here will expand a little bit to be more stable and strong stem. But see how drastic the difference is? This part and that part, I'm not really sure if this is going to work, but we're just gonna have to give it a try since everything I do here is experimental. So here we go. There. Okay. So now we have nothing to wobble really. And we have this top part. I mean, at least this proves that this plant can grow to this size and, you know, obviously potentially more. So that's a good sign. That would be my takeaway, I guess, for this one. But again, let's go and see what happens to this one. Moving on, let's take a look at Bolivian Rainbow. This one is less wobbly. Look, it's pretty stable because this one grew from the beginning. Even though it wasn't really a fast grower, it was growing steadily. So even though this head top part became quite large, see, it's a lot more stable than the other one, the Peruvian White Lightning one. But what concerns me is this part. As I said before, they start to flower, you see, and you can just snip flower buds with tweezers and such. You can just do that, but since there are a lot of more growth under here and the top's getting just bigger and bigger and bigger, I think this should also be topped. One thing that I learned about growing hot peppers is that they grow very fast. So it's fun to see, and even if you think that you topped way too drastically, you don't have to worry about it. They grow back. So I'm just right now trying to decide where to cut it. The challenging part of this plant is that the side shoots are pretty dense here, as you can see. So I'm kind of having a hard time deciding exactly where I want to cut it. I'm looking at the midpoint of this plant somewhere. I just need to decide exactly where. You know what? I'm just gonna do it right here. right this part. And I'm trying not to cut any other leaves, but I might ended up doing that. Oh well. There. Okay. Well, here's the result, and here's the top part. I know this one in particular is a real healthy pepper plant, so this will come back in no time, like in a month or month and a half. It's going to be even more bushier, taller, I guarantee, because I've done this before, and I know this works. Yeah, it looks sad. Looks a little bit like a chow chow dog got a haircut during the summertime type of thing. But it's a good thing. So here we go. Let's look at two plants side by side. This is what they look like now. And I might even cut the lower part of all these leaves because I don't really need to keep these. And but they're still tiny. So for now, I will just leave them as they are, but maybe later on I might chop them all off to just keep it clean at the bottom. Anyway, so here are the new look for the two peppers that I am growing.